Do what you love. A phrase that I came across many, many times in the past. It seems to be attributed to some famous people, but it usually comes in different variations. For example, there's a quote, something like this: do what you love and you'll never work a job for the rest of your life. Or you'll never work in like a day for the rest of your life. The question is, does it really work? Some years back, I got into game development, and I was really excited about it. I had an idea that I wanted to do, and in my head, this was like a really exciting, revolutionary idea for a video game. I made a plan for it, so it wasn't just random. I made like a production plan and a post production plan and marketing. So what I did was I took some game development courses and I learned exactly the skills that I needed to make that game happen. And I did. I made it happen. Now, to my surprise or shock or disappointment, whatever you'd like to call it, the game ended up not receiving as much attention as I was hoping. You may blame that on the game itself, which I did at one point. You may blame it at the marketing skills. I used crowdfunding. Point is, it just did not work. And then when it didn't work, I tried to pinpoint the reasons. But I pointed out two main reasons, or two main lessons, if you will. One of them is that just because I liked something, just because I believed that this is a good idea, it does not mean that people would necessarily agree with me, let alone consider buying it. One of the misconceptions, or one of the things that kind of used to trick me in the past, was that when you have an idea and you share it with people, especially if they're friends or family, most people would encourage you and would say, yeah, it's a great idea. This would be like interesting. But the question is, do they really think that? Or are they just trying to be nice to you? That's one thing that you need to try to discern. And this is where there's this is why there's a whole area, that's why there's a whole area called marketing research or market research or product research. It's like a whole principle in business school trying to help you to figure out whether this is a good idea or not. So anyway, one of the lessons that I learned, as I said, was that just because I believed that this was a good idea, that did not necessarily mean that others will think the same way. And then the other lesson, or the other major point that I learned was, to be frank, was that I suck at marketing. I'm not really good at marketing. It's like, for example, like I said, I wanted to try crowdfunding, and I thought I would just put it there. People will see it, they're gonna fall in love with it, and I'm gonna end up. I even used to have dreams about like making just like getting a lot more people than or raising a lot more funds than I thought. I had some people who got interested in it, true, but it wasn't nearly as good or as successful as I thought. Why am I saying this? Why am I telling you this? I could tell you with a reasonable amount of certainty that if you always do what you love and that does not conform or does not meet what other people love, you're not going to be successful. Now, it's true that there are people who are gifted with marketing, with marketing skills, and those people can pretty much sell anything to anyone. It's true. And there are many products that their people never thought that they're going to last. So, again, there are people, if you happen to be one of those people who can convince and persuade people to buy your product or your service or your game, then more power to you. However, if you're like the rest of us who just don't know much about, don't have a lot of experience about sales or marketing or any of that, then the odds are it may not work unless you try to do something that other people are going to like as well. And pay attention to this. That other people are going to like, not you think other people are going to like. You cannot just go to your family and friends and get them to get their approval and be like, yeah, I should be doing that. There are plenty of different ways and methodologies to how, as to like relating to how you can get people to give like professional opinions about your product or your service. Now, some of you might wonder, like, okay, so we talked about the problem. What is the solution? What should we do? And the solution really depends on what you are trying to achieve. If your ultimate goal is capital, if you're trying to make money, to make profit, then you need to think in a certain way and look at certain things. If your goal is just to have fun, then it's a different story. Now, for the first one, if your goal is to make money, then you need to obviously find something that can help you make money, something that people are interested in. Either you're offering a solution to a problem, or you're offering like a better solution to something, to a problem. Or sometimes some people would actually invent something for a non-existent problem, a solution for a non-existent problem, and be able to sell it, because then people would realize what the problem is. They'd be like, this can work for me. Now, if you're passionate about something, and you can be, everyone is free to think however they want. If you have passion for something, you might think, yeah, well, this passion is going to give me all the motivation that I need. I used to have this professor in business school who kept saying that passion comes first. You have to have the passion, because the passion is going to fuel your motivation, is going to fuel your energy, the energy that you need to make something happen. Again, from a personal experience, I found that to be mistaken. And the reason for that is motivation is like an ignition. Passion is like fire. And this fire, it needs fuel itself. And that fuel is, to me, is like visible results that I'm getting. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's a wise idea to rely on passion alone. Because passion is not a constant state. I don't know how many of you can just maintain their passion going to work passionately every day and doing it passionately. Because to me, I think even if I had the best job in the world, my biggest dream job, I think if I do it every day, after a while, my passion is just going to go down. And I think that's natural. Anything that you try for a long period of time, your passion for it will start going down. So what's the alternative of that? And for me, the alternative to passion was discipline. When you have discipline to just get up in the morning and do the same thing, even regardless whether you're passionate about it or not, but you're doing it because it can bring you to your goal, then it can work. You can try to pursue things that you have passion for, but you're going to have the right discipline. You cannot just rely on passion. But if your goal was to, for example, to make money, as I said, then you need like an entirely different approach to get that, and that may and will probably involve you doing things that you do not enjoy. And when I look back, I find that the biggest accomplishments that I had in my life are the ones where I had to do things that I do not enjoy. I know it just sounds depressing, but that was the truth to it. It's like exercise. But if you're just going to sit down and think about, okay, I'm just going to follow my passion and only when I'm passionate about it. So if I don't feel like writing, for example, I shouldn't be sitting down and writing. If I don't feel like working today, I shouldn't be working. If I'm feeling tired, I shouldn't be working. I mean, think about it. When you hear those famous people saying you should do what you love, do you really think that they actually use their passion to make money? I mean, for some people, maybe their passion is to make money, and in that case, they can do whatever they want. They can do anything that can bring them the maximum amount of money because that would be their ultimate passion. But when a famous, like let's say a famous retailer goes to make a deal to buy something that they can sell later, do you think they only buy the things that they're passionate about or the things that they like? I mean, this is a question. You can think about it, you can try to answer it. And then they will tell you, if you look on the internet, there are many quotes that they will say, and yeah, just do what you love and then the money will come later. But how? If you don't have a plan, and if you're doing something that not many people like and enjoy, how will the money come later? For one, not everyone can afford to do that. People probably have to do other things to survive while they get to what they want. While they try to, for example, get out of their job. But if you're going to assume that something is going to work for you, you're going to have to be very, very lucky and do something that by chance many people are going to like it. Otherwise, you're going to have to find something that people would enjoy too. And believe me, many of the people that are famous and rich nowadays, even YouTubers, content creators, whatever, they just do what they think their audience would like. Even artists. We used to think that artists just make art, but to my observation, most artists do the kind of art that they think people would enjoy, that they think people would want to buy. Most musicians that I know of, they make music that they think is going to work for people. I mean, there are people who make music because they like it, because they feel it's art, but you're going to notice that those people aren't nearly as popular as others. And again, if this is your goal, if your goal is to not make money, then more power to you. You can just do what you love, and you may end up making money from it anyway. It may happen. But again, if your goal is to make money, then perhaps following your passion may not align with that goal. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for listening. This is a discussion, so feel free to share your experience, share your opinions, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Take care.